All right, well, here's another good one. In a way, I sort of get it because you don't want mob mentality or mob rule sort of determining things in a country. Because we are innocent until proven guilty. However, if you want to press charges or have charges pressed, in the case of where you feel as though you've been assaulted, your property's been trespassed on, and they're stealing your garbage or the city's garbage. I'm not sure which, because I'm willing to bet there's a law about that too. Whose garbage is whose? Like once you put your recycling in a City of Ottawa recycling bin that they provide you, then whose recycling is it? Who owns it after that? And I'm willing to bet it's actually the city. So anyways, it comes down to that the police will decide if it's worth investigating or not. So it's going to go through their sort of political optic management system, you could say. And then if they decide to go ahead with it, then a prosecutor could actually put the kibosh to it to make sure it doesn't go through. And I could just see how, in this case, because, they're going to say, from what country they're from, probably. I just know that they're two Latina women, and I got nothing against Latina women. I love all people from all parts of the world. Don't care what your skin color is, what language you speak, Just if you come here to my country, then you better have a job to do, and it's not fucking picking through people's garbage and recycling. Maybe it's too complicated for me to explain why that just seems so wrong, but it just really fucking does. Like, how is this an improvement on your life? For you to come here and to be doing that, and who knows? Maybe it is, but that's not really my problem neither. Canada, what kind of country do you want to have? Like, how does it make sense to let people come in only to force them to have to just scrape by to make ends meet? Like probably what those women are doing. I do have some empathy for what they're trying to do. They don't speak English. That was clear, because they wouldn't speak English to me. And, well, what English he was speaking was very broken and would be difficult for most people to understand. I'm extremely good at understanding most people, actually, with terrible English language skills. Yeah, so... And the cops, the police, they haven't got back to me, and they probably won't get back to me because they're like, as far as they're concerned, I solved the problem, I dealt with the situation, and then I reported it. So, we'll just wait for something else to potentially happen if something does happen, and at least there was already the beginning of this that sort of happened, and hopefully it's on file or something to that effect, right? We can only hope that the system is actually working that well. My impression is, though, of at least the police service here in Ottawa, it's like they're really discouraged and disheartened from being able to actually do, like, real police work sort of, managing the communities, basically. Like, this is not the first altercation I've had with basically just somebody coming around and causing problems around my place, and to the level of a criminal nature. And on one occasion, it was bad enough because the guy literally threatened me, and he was fucking hammered and shit like that. And but it, like, there was like 8 cop cars that came out to deal with that guy. And what he said to me was, well, or like, I know where you live or something like that, after I told him if I see him fucking driving around, if I see him driving around in the neighborhood and I think he's drunk, I'm going to call the police. That's what I said to him, and he fucking exploded. So anyways, and then when he did, and then he was like pushing and shoving me and whatever, and even followed me to in front of my place and then got in my face again, that's when I called the freaking police. And then they sent out 8 cop cars. Like, first, the first guy came and I gave him the lowdown, and then freaking 1, 2, 3, 4, and then pause a little bit, and then like 4 more later after that. Like, oh, and that guy was just a piece of work. I feel bad for him in a way. He's probably just having a bad day or something like that. But basically, you don't fucking threaten me. You don't threaten me, period. You don't fucking shove me around on my own property. And especially, I forgot to mention this, in my own fucking country. You're going to come here from wherever you're from and start pushing around the locals here. You're going to find out how real fucking bad of an idea that is. I don't think I need to tell you that. But and I won't even be the one to instigate it. I'm just going to pass out the information, and we'll just let all the crazies do all the work for me. How about that? So, yeah, I'm a little fucking pissed still. This is just not the first time that something like this has happened. I don't hold any malice towards those women in any way. This is just symptomatic of a bigger problem, a thing that we seem to have going on in this country, and I can't help but feel as if this is all just a deliberate social test. They are just pushing people to see where their limit is. They are once again, just like what I believe they were doing with the pandemic, is testing our consent. What will we consent to? How much will we consent to? Because they know from history and a lot of science experiments, Milton's experiment. Why is the name escaping me? Like, people will put themselves through anything in their belief that that's exactly what they have to do in order to, like, just carry on. I don't know. It's kind of like slaves. Like, why slaves never... I mean, eventually they probably did. But why was slavery even possible? Who in their right mind would submit themselves to such a thing? And why wouldn't you just say fuck it and let them just fucking kill you instead of allowing yourself to be dominated by them? Yeah, I'm very much in the liberty or death spectrum of things, and I would really like to understand where anybody is actually coming from if they actually believe that they ought to be submitting themselves to literally anything that just doesn't serve them, or, well, exactly. There's no free trade there. What do you get in return for? And is that really a good deal for you? You know, do you get pride from it? So, anyways, I don't know. I think I've touched on enough here, but that's just the gist of it. Anyways, a citizen in this country, basically, you know, you could potentially become a victim in this country, and at the end of the day, it's as if you have literally no power. And you can only hope that the state is going to back you up, but you can almost bet, with the way things have been just in this last little while, with all these fresh faces that have come into the country, the government's gonna probably... They're going to do things to fucking tamp down our resistance to it all, for lack of a better way to describe it. So, all right, that's all I can think of about that for now. But yeah, I hope you'll... Thank you for watching this, and I look forward to your support potentially in the future. I don't know if I plan to go anywhere with what I'm doing or saying right now. I'm more or less just reacting to a thing that I see going on out there. But I would also like to do something to remedy what I believe I see going wrong with this city and this country. I don't want to say what city I'm in. Those of you who know me that are watching this, you know where I live. But yeah, I live in one of the most beautiful cities in the whole country. With a probably higher, more affluent population per capita than other cities. And it's really going down the tubes, and I don't think anybody that lives, I don't think most people really know how much the city is actually changing to something that is not at the same standard of what we have been used to seeing in this country. I think we're going back at least by a few decades in quality of life. Here, like I know 80s is said to be a good time, but it was actually a very hard time for a lot of people, especially if you were working class. Back then, like you certainly weren't making big bucks working in the construction force and whatever, and just expectations of people were different back then, and we, you know, have gained a lot, I think, in how employers are to respect workers, and how just overall, like, the country really did get better right up until sort of 2010-ish. And then it's like it's people and its sense of good feeling, quality of life, or whatever, it's decline. And I know this is probably the story of the entire Western world. But anyways, I think there's more than enough. Probably said that a little while ago too. Good evening, everyone.